I'm fine. So, Maria from Barcelona. Let us start. Let others people join. I am roughly translating the Sanskrit word adhi. That means in respect of and with respect to. Or we can use that. So, with respect to the material world, with respect to the mind, two things first. Just see that we all need to at least sit for 10-15 minutes every day, and we have to follow the mind, the way this mind works in day-to-day life. What is that? First is with respect to the material world. What do we find? People, place, possession, event, time. Just before I was talking about my daughter is there, she will come, and then we talk about relationship, and then we talk about with respect to material world. Now, with respect to the material world, the mind reflects pairs of opposites. Just see that. I'm transitioning from one step to the other. And all the problems of the life will be solved today. If it is not solved today, it means we are not ready. I don't know, so we have to understand, we have to know. I don't understand, we have to understand. I don't experience, we have to practice. How simple. I'm simplifying it. So, with reference to the material world, the mind always perceives the world with the pairs of opposites. For example, you attend this session, liking. You don't attend this session, disliking. You see that? Pain, pleasure, profit, loss, victory, defeat. So now, what is the point of learning? The master says the moment the mind enters into the pairs of opposites, can you become aware and leave as it is? That is the meaning and the practical application of being carefree. Let the thought come and let the thought go. Now, when the mind does not understand this, so what happens? We teachers say with eyes closed, be carefree, let the thought come and go. So the thought that I like, that keeps repeating itself. And after this session I say, I had a lot of thoughts in my mind. Meditation does not succeed. Simplistic. Simple but profound. Based on these principles. So first, with respect to the world. If the mind works with respect to the world, we have to keep this mind in abeyance, not to fight. So when you keep this mind in abeyance, you are now ready for the journey. Now, where the mind experiences this material world, in the mind itself, I have an experience inside me that Paul is wonderful, Priscilla is wonderful, Maria is... No, I experience these things inside the mind, inside me. So, with respect to mind. And what is mindfulness? Can you think of it? With respect to the material world, first level, outside. With respect to the mind, second level. And the third one, with respect to, that becomes the journey of meditation. So with respect to the mind, all experiences happen in the mind. Based on that experiences and the way we treat those experiences becomes the journey of my life. I had a lot of problem 10 years ago, now I don't. You see the statements, my experiences. Can I become aware of this? Simple but very profound. No, I had a very hard time there, that's why I don't want to meet him. You see, my experiences. I always love to meet him. My experiences. What is meditation and mindfulness? Behind both the word and the mind. And the third one comes with respect to the self. So when the same mind starts examining, understanding, knowing with respect to the self. Now see how playful and funful it is. I have lot of problem. It is my experience. It is with respect to the mind, and I am going to do meditation. Let me stop this. But when I don't know it, or when I live in ignorance, or when I live in incomplete knowledge, so then what happens? Oh, my honey has caused a problem. And now this thought has come, and now the chain reaction will start. When you practice meditation. No, your practice is good and your practice is not good. So what is the second point? I have to maintain that awareness. I have to drop with respect to the word, with respect to the mind. Simply drop it. When the person says it is very difficult to leave these thoughts, I had a terrible experience with you. That's how I cannot leave you in my mind. See that? On one hand, the way I think, it becomes a problem. And the way I think according to the principles, easy. So when anything comes up with respect to the mind, oh, I'm going too far from meditation. No way. I'm going with reference to the word. No, too much, too far. With reference to the self, yes. Now tell me, does this self need profit and loss? See that. Can I hate myself? If we say hate and love? No. When that understanding dawns in the mind, so now you have understood, there is no doubt about it, then you practice meditation. Meditation is always successful. See, many people come to me, I have a lot of problems, so hence practice meditation. Now, if I don't understand this problem relates to the world and with the mind, not to me. That has to be clearly understood. The mind must have a conviction through our daily life experiences. In deep sleep, body and mind is not there. I'm so happy. There may be a lot of questions, but see how simple it is, but profound. And so from there the other principles comes into being when the seeker asks the right question. But I am not able to control my mind. So where lies Master says there are two aspects. You work on the mind or the mind works on you. You see, the principles indicates the same thing. When the mind works on you means what? The past experiences, regret, current, blame, present time. In the present, we don't live in the present, but we live with the present, with the blame and reaction. And the third, we worry about the future. See that? Mind works on me. So mind claims this house is me. House needs a repair. I am frustrated. Anyone you relate it to a person, a place, and a position with respect to the self. So start the journey in this week. First 5 or 10 minutes with respect to the material. Just do nothing, even with eyes open, every day. And just see how the mind works first before you take over the mind. I should know how to drive. It's very fair, simple. So at least for 10 minutes in the beginning, 5 minutes, 5 or 6 times a day. So when you're doing this, after 6 days, what will happen? The moment you wake up, now you have taken over the mind. You know what the mind is demanding, how the mind is working. And then what? When I take over the mind and the mind is taking me to a wrong direction, will you do it? No. When you have a doubt, will you do it? No. You have a confusion, will you do it? No. You will sit down and let me remove the confusion first before taking an action. Have you seen the proverb? Think before you act. What happens in that state? Mind enjoys. Mind realizes with reference to itself and with reference to the world, the peace and the happiness cannot be attained. Once you have that conviction, where in your intellect, you have no doubt, where in the mind is inspired. I become a seeker and I am ready for it. That is how this journey works. The journey doesn't work with the simplistic, lot of problems. So let me sit, close my eyes and do everything. So it's better to take some pills that suppresses the brain not to have the thoughts. But it will be temporary. So there's a big difference. We have to live in this mindfulness. So let us start with our journey today. Close your eyes. And if you look closely and observe closely the session, you will understand how I translate these principles into different steps. Your eyes are what it means by closing the eyes. You are saying goodbye to all the movements with reference to the world. But we have to live it. So in the beginning we have to live with it, which I call the preparatory step. Be very clear about it. It has nothing to do with the cult, dogma, belief, religion, condition, any condition. You're totally free from now, from this moment. In that moment of freedom, you look at the neck joint and you feel the sensation. I add a couple of things. Sensation, see that, being comfortable, and steadiness. In order to help your mind to move at the subtler level, I am using 3 experiences with reference to the mind. We have to start from somewhere. Look at the shoulder joints, you see that? So you see, that is the world. Then you, with reference to the mind, sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. Now the mind says, hey, this is too much. I cannot be comfortable. You see, then what I say, look at the hip joint. Feel the sensation. And when you feel the sensation, let the mind know that you are comfortable. The mind says, I'm not. So I say, okay, make your body comfortable, adjust and align. How simple? How simple it is. Make the mind comfortable. Make the body comfortable. No. You see that? So are we not giving the mind a movement that is required in meditation? My master used to say that the step that I give you, you have to contemplate and reflect on it at least for about a week. And even if you reflect on the one step for about a week, the mind is ready to change its stand. Now look at the entire body. Are we doing anything? No. Simple yet profound. So the entire body, feeling, sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. When the mind understands clearly, the intellect has a conviction. Why there is a confusion? There is no conviction in the intellect. Why it is not so? Because I live in ignorance. What is that ignorance? I live only with reference to the world and the mind, not with reference to the self. Hence the meditation. No, you don't understand. I have lot of problem in the responsibilities. I have been suffering for years. See that? Mind with reference to itself. For that we do it carefree. Carefree. Free from the cares of all the experiences and the thoughts and the images the mind that brings at this moment. Mind by default has to work like this. What should I do? There comes, let the thought come and go. But when you do it with understanding, the mind from the background does not fight with what it dislikes, does not run after what it likes. That is the meaning of let it come and let it go. See, one point of understanding. Otherwise, what will happen? If you practice without understanding, I like this, and the mind says, okay, you like this, you're already out of meditation. Now the mind is somewhere else. How simple, yet profound. Now casual, very normal step that I gave you, which is very profound. Look at the head and the neck. Look at the head and the neck means look at the world. Body is a part of the world. Now I say, with reference to the mind, experience sensation, be there, relaxation, and stillness. It is an experience of the mind. Can you tell me how it is difficult? And you're doing it every day? And the time comes, the mind says, come on, work on me. What it means? It is calm, it is relaxed, it is focused. It is ready to do. Look at the right arm. The right arm with reference to the word. You see, what I talk, I'm translating into an experience. Your practice. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. My master used to say, you have to contemplate and reflect on a particular step until the intellect and the mind says, that is enough. There is no other way. You already know it. Every master says, continue the practice for a longer period. Practice it daily until you change. See the significance. Look at the left arm. You're there on the left arm. You feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Be clear with reference to the word, then to the mind, then you have left it. The chest and the belly, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The mind says, I don't feel it. Look again. See the objections. What we say in our country, handle the objections in a business, in a talk. Handle the objection of the mind in meditation. I always try to make it very simple and profound. Well, right leg, look at the right leg. Just be there. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Left leg. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The entire body. Aware of the entire body. Looking at the body, feeling the sensation, relaxation and stillness. look at the breath. We can use the breath as a tool because there is a constant experience of the movement of the breath. So we can use this breath with respect to the mind and the world also. Why? The mind leaves all the stuff coming from the world. Many ways, many tools. Let us use one of them. First, look at the breath. Means what? 3 points. Breath going in and out. Simple. But when it becomes simple, when I know consciously the breath is going in and out, when I feel the sensation of the breath, that confirms, feel with respect to the mind. Again, the third aspect is also with respect to the mind, that mind is not required to change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Now we are going to add the fourth point. So mind, where the mind is, on the 3-pointed awareness. You are adding the fourth. The moment the breath goes in, look the right arm from the shoulder to the fingers. When the breath returns, from the fingers to the shoulder. And what is the key point? You need not to change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. The moment you change it, the mind changes. It drops down. How simple it is. In the state of being comfortable, sensation and steadiness, the mind is working on the 4-pointed awareness of the breath. Breath is going in and out, feeling the sensation, no change. And it is, at present, aligning the breath with the awareness of the right arm. Now do it on the left arm. What it takes? Nothing. But at the same time, if the mind is living with the 4-pointed awareness at this moment, your experience will change. You will deepen the experience of the sensation. It may be freezing, numbness, tingling. That is the key. It's a part of the Nyasa in Tantra Yoga. So now your mind is on the chest and the belly, from the shoulder down to the waist, and from the waist down up to the shoulder. When the breath goes in and out, there is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath, and you feel the sensation. This step moves the mind towards subjective reality. What are the two objective reality? With respect to the world, with respect to the mind. What is the third one? Nothing. One is purely physical and the other is subtler, the mental. Now to the right leg. Do you see at the surface level, the mind maintains awareness of the right leg with reference to the breath without changing the rate in the rhythm of the breath. You are bypassing the past impressions that may trigger and disturb your mind. At the same time, it regains its natural focus. Why? To go within and experience the deepening of the sensation. Everything is so lucid and clear. Now, left leg. Are you doing anything now? You are consciously saying goodbye slowly to the world and to the mind with all its experiences of the past, projection of the future, and no action in the present. How simple it is. I can understand, I have done hundreds of times. The mind says, I'm confused. It's a good phrase. Leave that phrase aside and continue. It will happen. Sometimes the mind, we express, I'm confused, but we don't mean it. What we say and what we mean are two different things. You already know that is very common in politics. We can apply, we just become aware. And the entire body, you see that. You're aware of the breath going in and out, feeling the sensation, there is no change. And you're asking the mind, look at the body, means with respect to the world. But without likes and dislikes, without pairs and opposites. So mind lifts, goes up. And you're continuing with awareness of the breath. That prevents the mind to fall into the past. We don't fall in love, we rise in love now. One or two practice regularly for a longer period. By giving these different steps in the practice and the program, my only intent is that maybe one day your mind is inspired, committed, dedicated, and the change will come. Not by the different practices. Now it is very easy when consciously mind is withdrawn with respect to the world and the experiences inside. You see, at that moment when the breath goes in, drop the mind from the top of the head to the tailbone. The breath is short, yes. The mind is simply looking. You need not to change the breath. The moment the breath returns, the mind rises from the tailbone to the top of the head. It appears challenging. Any past impression, the first three centers are the center of survival, desire, that includes all desires, and the third is reference to the greed. Breath goes in, mind drops from the top of the head to the tailbone. And the mind rises when the breath returns from the tailbone to the top of the head. If we are directed and dictated by the first three centers, we may have some hallucination. We may have some images, some vision. Observe it, let it come, let it go. Why? Meditation is a journey with reference to the self. I'm not clear. That's where the understanding is required. One of the most simple and more profound way, see that now you can easily understand. The moment the breath goes in, let the mind drop from the top of the head inside to the heart. The breath comes out, let the mind rise from the heart to the top of the head. What you did, you simply bypassed. The first three centers are with reference to the world and my experiences. It is very simple. To say it is simple is also not good. If you are clear, it is the mind and its movement, conscious movement, helps enter into a meditative state. I'm redefining it. For the sake of practice and the step. That's what I said. Breath goes in, the mind drops from the top of the head to the heart. The moment the breath returns, let the mind rise from the heart to the top of the head. Mind will confuse you. Should I look inside the head and outside? Should I look into the spine or somewhere else? Don't follow these thoughts of the mind. The way you can feel it, good. You do it outside, you do it from inside, rather than imagining the spine and then the sushumna. You may have heard a lot about it, you have read it, you might have enjoyed it. Buddha says middle path. We always talk about it. One of you, Paul, has done a lot of these practices. You will understand the significance. And now, make the mind turn on itself. How? See the simple way? The moment the breath goes in, drop the mind inside from the top of the head. Any direction? No. The moment the breath returns, return your mind on the top of the head. Breath goes in, the mind drops. Where? Into the infinity. Don't start thinking, let me bring it to the heart center. So what happens? The mind says, okay, now I'm clear. It starts working with reference to the word. See that. Then what happens? Heart, love and hate. Then those Kundalini people say, it has a negative part, it has a positive part. Don't go into that. Breath goes in, the mind drops from the top of the head inside and infinite space. Breath returns from the infinite space, touches the top of the heart, top of the head. Done. Not only mindfulness, as taught by Buddha, but also by other great masters. Their focus remains what I talked today with respect to the self, not with reference. Reference makes us too far. When the same mind does not find anything to hold on with reference to the world, with reference to its own experiences, it finds itself. It finds the self. That is the point I was making. And doing nothing, whether you maintain awareness of the mind dropping inside from the top of the head or not, you were in the state of doing nothing. And still I say, please do nothing, live into that state of doing nothing. We do anything and everything with respect to the word, with respect to the mind. How can you do anything with respect to the self which is already there? So they are effortless and naturalness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Raise both your palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Bring the heads down. We will share our experiences now. You can unmute your sound because I muted all. So, how about you, Samir? You have to unmute your sound so that we can talk.
Sorry, I came little bit late, but I tried my best, sir. And see, I think this practice you have, after a long time we have done this practice.
Yeah.
It comes in synergy sessions.
Yeah.
So it was very good. I've been doing it regularly. So I used to do it while lying down. Now I have done it sitting on the chair. So now the whole body has become very cold mind, and I have enjoyed it. It is.
Yeah. That's really good. Wonderful. So, Maria, you can unmute your sound. So, how are you, Paul and Priscilla?
Really good that I didn't get as relaxed as I normally do because I was listening to you.
Yeah, okay.
My mind was engaged with what you were saying more than anything else. I was intellectually interested.
Are you looking at me and you cannot speak? You're looking at me and speaking.
I am, yes.
You are looking at me and sitting.
I am.
That is the practice.
Okay. Thank you.
But when the mind says, no, this is different, and then the mind goes into a different direction. So, yes, then we say, I'm listening, but not in the... Are you aware of yourself when you are talking to me? Answer is yes.
Yes.
Because the moment you are talking to me, it means you are aware of yourself, you and me.
Yes.
That is the practice. I know.
That it was a great meditation.
You'll understand, you'll get it, I know that. You're already a great meditator. You'll get it. How are you, Paul?
Very well. I thought the going to the mind as you breathe in and going down to your heart as you breathe out, it was just a natural rhythm, and I could physically feel myself swaying between the mind and the heart as I breathe. And I was able to do both things at the same time. Think that I'm in the mind when I breathe in, and then when I breathe out, go to the heart. It was very natural.
It's very natural and calming.
Yes.
Wonderful. So, very
good. A lot
good.
better place now than I was when I started the meditation.
That's good. How are you, Maria?
I'm fine also. It was it's allowed to go quite deep and very calming, even if I have two kids who, in the house and they interrupt me twice.
Yeah.
But like I was very aware of myself and of the moment even when they came, and I remained quite aware.
Wonderful.
Of myself.
Wonderful. You simply see.
Thank you.
If we all see the fact here and now, I'm explaining my state with reference to the world. I'm aware of the computer screen, you guys, images, colors, and everything. I'm simply aware. The word is not making me crazy because this is an experience happening in the mind with respect to the word. Experience with respect to the mind. I'm different from both. I'm not computer screen. I'm not red color. I am none of my experiences. So when I live, move, and act with reference to the self, I always live in meditation. I means